What's up guys, David Land here. Welcome to my review and gameplay of the 2018 update for NASCAR Heat 2. Before you ask, it costs $10 on PS4, Xbox, and PC, and you can't go online with it. So just like NASCAR Heat Evolution, you have the selector screen for the 2017 season or the 2018 season. Obviously, since this is a review of the 2018 season, we're going to click this and take a look at NASCAR Heat 2 in its 2018 form. Now, there are 40 paint schemes for the Monster Energy Cup only, and the Charlotte Roval as well as a new track, so that's pretty cool to me. And honestly, it kind of fixes part of my criticism from last year, which was like, okay, you're just selling brand new paint schemes and the new Toyota body. Well, this time we've got a new Chevy body and a new track, so it's an improvement, even though I still feel like $10 is a bit steep on the price. And my goodness, is this taking a while to load. So we are going to have to redo everything from our first NASCAR Heat experience. So I guess we'll take a look at this right here. We get to choose our driver icon. You know, we got to go with Senpai here. So here we are in the menu for the 2018 update. You'll see that it looks virtually identical. One thing, of course, missing, which is online. But you got Quick Race, Split Screen, Championship, Career. I'm assuming it's like Heat Evolution where you're going to have to restart your career. You got the news feed, you got My Driver, you got Store Options, and Switch to 2017. So that feature's back, so you can just go between 2018 and 2017. But the cool thing in this update is that you can actually do a custom of the new cars. So what we want to do is we want to go to Chevy, and you can actually make a custom new for 2017 Camaro, and there is the Camaro body. Well, we can't really see a whole lot of it here, pretty much just the rear windscreen. There's the back with the Camaro ZL1 logos. Obviously, this is a bit of a mix of Michael Mcdowell and Ryan Newman, which is kind of interesting. And there's the front of the Camaro. So very nice to see that implemented into the game. Now, I guess we'll take a look at the thing that you guys all really want to see, which is the paint schemes for the Monster Energy series. So let's take a look at them. So they're going to start us off, obviously, with Senpai with the Credit 1 paint scheme, which I think is his best for this year, and obviously it's his primary scheme. Don't know if there are any alternate schemes for the drivers. We'll find that out. Joey Logano, obviously this car is going to be virtually identical to last year. If there are any differences, let me know in the comments. Carl Long is back, even though he's not going to be in the Daytona 500. That is Mark Thompson. And also, why is Carl in a Toyota? That's very weird, because they're running a Ford at Daytona. You've got Ty Majeski, so this update has not been able to kind of avoid the plague that virtually every other NASCAR game, except for this one, up until this point had, where they have to fill out the field with NASCAR Next drivers. And we've got Michael Mcdowell, updated Love's paint scheme. That's nice to see with the Speed Co. on the front of it. I believe we'll also get the other car for David Reagan, which is primaried by Speedco. Then you got Jamie McFlurry, and they decided to go with the Cessna paint scheme, which is quite nice. Unfortunately, they're not running that at Daytona. They're running the mix between McDondo's and Cessna. Then we got Paul Menard, and this is the spotter's nightmare because there's another car in this update incredibly similar to this one, but I always love seeing that Menard paint scheme, and they definitely outdid themselves this year for the Wood brothers. Then you've got the Ryan Newman car, old Numa himself, and this is the first or the second Camaro we will be looking at here. So let's take a look at this car at the front, because this is where the big difference in the terms of the aerodynamics and all that is. There you go. And we'll go over to David Reagan, and no, it's not the Speedco car, it's the Shriners Hospital car. So I imagine that's a big tax write-off for somebody, and yeah, it's not a bad paint scheme. I think they used that last year at some point because I think they made a die-cast of it. On to Ricky Stenhouse. Mr. Single Stenhouse now, and his new Fastenal car. This is, I definitely think this one's an improvement for sure over last year's, so that's nice to see. Daniel Suarez, almost virtually identical to last year. I think the peak logo on the rear quarter panel is different, but that's about it. Martin Truex Jr., stage winner and the undisputed NASCAR champion. We get his orange paint scheme. He also has a red one when 5 Hour Energy is on the hood, but Bass Pro is on the hood, so this is the one we get for Truex. Bubba, this is a beautiful car, and it was actually my first choice to drive in this update. Unfortunately, 704 Games also had the same idea, so when they did their video, they chose this Camaro to drive around the Charlotte road course. So unfortunately, I can't drive this car in this video, otherwise it would be too similar to theirs. And then we go on to Cole Whitt, who is definitely not driving that car at Daytona. That is Corey LaJoie, and yes, I misspelled that in the Bandwagoner's Guide, so there you go, there's that car. You've got A.J. Allmendinger, the road course ringer, and also I forgot the G in the Bandwagoner's Guide for him, but regardless, this is a nice Camaro to get. Eric Almirola, get that focused on the Smithfield. This is another scheme that I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to check out, so there you go. Let's wait till it goes around the front just to get that focus on the Smithfield. Yeah, baby. Then we go on to Trevor Bayne, and this is probably my vote for the most improved paint scheme of 2018. I did not like the whatever they were doing with the Advocare scheme last year. This is much more interesting. Definitely got that Darth Vader look to it, so I like it. And then Ryan Blaney. This was my #1 choice, or my #2 choice after Mr. Wallace's car to test out. I definitely like the Duracell, getting some Raul Bosell vibes from that. If anybody gets that reference, let me know down in the comments. But unfortunately, I got snubbed because my pal Winval already did this, did a race on the Charlotte road course, and he used the Blaney car. Winval! Anyway, Alex Bowman with the Nationwide Insurance Chevy. No, that's not Redneck Jesus, it's Alex Bowman. But we'll wait till the Camaro front end comes around. Oh yeah, there you go. Very nice. Then we got Clint Boyer with the totally not unsponsored Haas CNC 14, and then on to Chris Buescher with his Cottonelle and Bush's Baked Beans, Kleenex, about every sponsor you can find in the grocery store, number 37. We'll wait until that front end comes around so we can see that sexy Camaro front end. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Harrison Burton, another NASCAR Next driver. Actually met him at New Jersey Motorsports Park this year, but apparently Kyle Busch Motorsports is in the Cup Series. Speaking of Busch, we've got the defending champion, and yes, he is Car 41, everybody in the comments, Kurt Busch. So this paint scheme is pretty much unchanged from last year. Kyle Busch. I'm sure the little M&M's guys on the side are different for this year, but honestly, it looks exactly the same to me. Then we go on to the next Jeff Gordon, William Byron. This is obviously going to be a very popular paint scheme, I think, from this pack. And then we'll move on to Chase Cobra or whatever, however people were telling me to pronounce it in the bottom of the comments. But yeah, this is another guy I met him at New Jersey Motorsports Park too. Nice guy. Then you've got the custom, and then we've got Haley Deegan for the Monster Energy car, which is kind of interesting because she's like 15, so how she got in the Cup Series I will never know. Then we go on to Dibby, and we got some naked girls on the side. I approve. Good job. And that's about it. I think that's a fairly same paint scheme from last year. Here's a different one. Austin Dillon for the Dow Chemicals Camaro. Very nice. Then we go on to Ty Dillon, another Camaro, and they spelled Geico right, unlike I did in the Bandwagoner's Guide, so that's nice to see. Then we go to the next Casey Atwood. Awesome Chase from the same place, Chase Elliott. And this is, of course, a Camaro that everybody is going to be very, very excited about to see. And we'll let this one kind of marinate for a little while so everybody can see it. Decent paint scheme. Not sure if it's better than last year's, though. Then we got the Beard Oil car for Brendan Gaughan, Mr. IMSA driver now, apparently. This is cool because it's one of the ones in the Daytona 500, and I think it's one of the cars that's only going to be running in the Daytona 500. So I think it's cool that 704 got this licensing for this car. Then we go on to Todd Gilliland, and this car is another NASCAR Next car, so don't expect it to be tearing up the Cup scene anytime soon. Then we got Denny Hamlin, everybody's most favorite driver ever. And then we go on to Kevin Harvick, which is a different paint scheme for this year. I definitely think it's improved over his last year's paint scheme. And then we got Jimmy the Juggernaut Johnson with his new black paint scheme on the Camaro body. So thankfully, they did not put that big, ugly Camaro logo on the bottom of it. So this is probably the best version of this paint scheme you can get. Then we go on to Eric Jones. This is pretty much Matt Kenseth's paint scheme from last year, except for it's got Reese's Pieces on the back of it. Then we move on to another popular paint scheme for this year, Kasey Kahne, or Kasey Kahne. And then this is a pretty nice Procore car. It'll be interesting to see if he wins a race in this car this year. Heck, he may win the Daytona 500. Who knows? And this is probably my favorite car in the whole pack, the Lordco Autoports Castrol car for DJ Kennington. Yeah, baby. Very, very nice. This is the one I wish they would have included in NASCAR Heat 2 from the get-go, but they didn't. But we finally get it, so I'm fine, because it is a lovely car. Anytime you get that Castrol logo on pretty much any race car, it looks great. And then we move on to Guidance Counselor Brad, and this is the only car we get alternate paint schemes for, because we get the discount tire, and that's about it. So we get his Daytona 500 scheme, and we get the Brad K scheme for some reason. So let's pick out our car. So I've thought about this for a while. I thought about, since I got snubbed on Blaney, picking Paul Menard. I also thought about doing DJ Kennington, but I don't think enough people are interested in DJ Kennington. If you are, let me know down in the comments, and I'll do a video with DJ Kennington. But I think we have to do it. I think it has to be done. It had to be done at some point. Somebody had to do it. So we are going to drive as the next Kasey Atwood, and we will be Awesome Chase from the same place for a race at the Charlotte Roval. So I was interested how they were going to do this. I was wondering if it was going to be a Project Cars kind of thing where you have to select Charlotte and then select the Charlotte Roval. But no, the Charlotte Roval is right in there. So we've got a 17-lap race. We're going to do the 13% distance. We're going to do 4 times tire and fuel consumption, relaxed yellow, 3-race stage. We're going to do a quick qualifier so we can kind of learn the track before we actually go racing and all of that nonsense. So, here we go. 17 laps at Charlotte. Let's see what this road course is like. Alright, here we go. The Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. There's Chase Elliott. So they did include the new driver suits as well. I wonder how many cars actually have the driver suits associated with them. But let's get out here and qualify this car and see how we do. Alright, let's check this thing out. Well, we're going to almost burn out into the wall. That would have been a mistake. And out onto the road course we go. When they showed this game off, or when 704 showed this off, all the inside walls I think were yellow. They've since changed that as we go out on the curbs there. And then we come up to, I believe this is the section of the course that is now been changed, or at least not here yet. Some big elevation change, actually, surprisingly. Whoop, off the track we go. But they actually straightened that out. They've straightened this out, I should say. So no more hairpin turn, and I'm kind of disappointed about that. I know some people were celebrating it, but honestly, anything that kind of leads to more better driving, or the better drivers being able to shine, I think I'm more interested in that. But NASCAR didn't see it that way, so no more hairpins as we get out onto the Roval. That's actually quite similar to Daytona, that corner. I suppose there's only so many ways you can do a Roval without, or on a banked track anyway. And now we're coming to the chicane on the back straightaway. Another thing fairly similar to Daytona. I'm going to take this fairly cautiously. Ooh, those curbs definitely upset this Camaro. I bet you could set the car up to be able to really ride over those curbs if you loosened up the suspension and whatnot. Oh yeah, there's a chicane here. I was thinking I was on the oval there. and I almost took a face full of tires right there. So we get into turn 1 way too fast. Way too fast into turn 1. Wow, I forgot I'm not in a prototype sports car anymore. I thought, oh, I'll take this flat out. Nope, ain't gonna happen. No, it's not. Well, we lost aerodynamics. We'll have to not do that in the race, as we are just wheel spinning all over the place. Get near that curb, David. Out to that curb. There we go. That was a poor, poor corner as well, as we move down here into this corner. Lots of almost 90-degree corners in this track. I think I commented on the 704 official video of this, that this kind of reminds me of a street circuit. The walls are very, very close most of the time. So, I mean, this could really, I mean, we've never seen NASCAR at a street circuit. So, if you've ever wanted to see NASCAR at Long Beach or NASCAR at Baltimore, even though that doesn't exist anymore, or NASCAR at Monaco, this may be the closest thing you're going to get to it, as we just completely decide to say hi to the safer barrier there. So, first gear, not a good idea coming out of the final corner, heading on to the oval portion of the track. And I know you can kind of attack this chicane. They definitely were attacking it in the 704 game, or the 704 gameplay. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So that is a wickedly fast chicane right there. Oh boy, as we're getting understeer because I've destroyed the front arrow of the car. And now we'll get here into the second chicane. Well, there's a big bump through there and into the wall. Well, this is why we qualified, so we can learn the track, but I think we're going to be last. If we're not last, I'd be very, very surprised if we crashed twice. Last place. Well, that's fine. We'll be able to come through the field and see all the pretty, pretty paint schemes. Who's on the pole? Guidance Counselor Brad from Alex Bowman. So, here we go. A 13% race at the Charlotte Roval. And approval pending. What? Did anyone else see that? They've got to... Hold on a second. We got to go back. Wait till this comes around one more time. Apparently, Front Row Motorsports is being cheap with their number fonts. So, that's the thing that's going on. Alright, here we go. Charlotte Roval. We're starting in the chicane. We're that far back. Green, green, green. Boogity, boogity. Oh, God. There's a bump in the middle of that chicane. And it really, really upsets the cars. We are just going to try to kill Harrison Burton right off the bat. And we're going to cut the course really badly. We actually helped Harrison Burton get through past Haley Deegan and chase Cobra, but that's about it. Or Carbra. Carbra, that's how I was told to pronounce it. I forgot for a second there. We are working our way through the field now as we get around Time Majeski. This is the part of the track that really feels like a street circuit. Probably should have been in second gear there. Oh well. Because look how close these walls are. Everybody running out there on the Circuit of the Americas kind of pavement. Oh, as we just make a little bit of contact with Carl Long. And now we're going to drive around the outside of the hairpin. Everybody feeling fairly conservative through here, as you may expect them to be. Ooh! Dibby. I need you to cease and desist. And this is kind of cool because you can see the cars coming on the exit of the hairpin. Everybody, again, very slow. We'll work around the outside of Paul Menard. Try to, anyway. And I launched the car in third gear. That was stupid of me. So everybody's kind of escaping down the oval portion of the track. It's so weird to see the cars accelerating after slowing down through turn 2 on this Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's attack this chicane. Too much attack, too much attack. Wow. Wow, David Reagan. Wow. Apparently they attacked it better than I did because David Reagan just ran me the F over in the back, in the rear. So we'll try to get down through here. Don't hit that bump too hard, David. There we go. Much better. That grass is not going to survive. You could already see the grass is completely torn up. Oh, Rip Brendan gone. All that IMSA experience didn't do you any good there, did it? Oh, we got a yellow. That's the end of the stage. Rip stage. Well, we got one lap in, and we're still at the back. But we'll at least be able to repair the car here. Since we're going to be at the back anyway, we might as well. I don't know if there's anything I can do to get this rear end a little bit better, so we may be trapped into having a very loose race car, but screw it. We know how to attack the course now. We know where we're going to get run into if we decide to drive like a namby-pamby. So here we go, back to the racing at the Charlotte Roval. And we're very cautious, shall we say, through that first chicane this time. Or the last chicane, I should say. It's the first chicane for us on this lap, but it's the last chicane on the true course. Does that make sense? I don't know. Here we go, down the mini straightaway. into the 90-degree corner here. I guess that's turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, I don't know. As we got Cobra looking around the outside, then we'll get in behind Brendan Gaughan here, who's making some big moves, so maybe that 24 hours experience did pay off as we almost get into the side of Chris Buescher there, and now around the outside we go. Just trying to keep the wheel spin in check here is Michael Mcdowell. He's a road racer. DJ Kennington, I'm sure he needs to know all the road courses because he races in Canada most of his time, so you'd assume he'd be pretty good on them. As we get underneath Daniel Suarez, and we launch the car in second gear onto the oval portion this time, and we get a much better launch. So now we got this piece of trash, David Reagan, who tried to kill me in the chicane last time. We'll try to do a little bit better. So everybody's kind of entering low, so I guess this is the way you have to do it. So nail those curbs. Daniel Suarez getting revenge for Talladega last year, apparently. So yeah, the AI definitely run you over a bit in the chicane if you're not on it. We gotta avoid the bump here. Oh man, the chicanes are so intense. They are so intense. Oh God Almighty! That is turn 1. David not getting it right. Oh boy. Oh, we've got a whole. Oh boy, Brendan Gaughan almost lost it. So let's actually try to get to the end of the stage at least. Oh boy, into the wall we go. Making contact with Carl Long. Maybe I should have turned on the traction control or something for this. The car is so loose. It is so loose. I know people always argue at me or yell at me in the comments is we're getting arrested for the ridiculous driving I'm doing. But people always yell at me in the comments when I play with the wedge on the road courses. And they're actually right, because you're essentially just setting the car up for one corner, or going the corner, or one way in a corner. And of course, there are left and right turns on a road course to get a little bit of Bobby Unser going. So here we go, back out onto the banking once again. And we're going to be looking for that chicane. Hopefully Carl Long will not run me over, but definitely feel very much getting spread out here. All right, here we go, into the chicane. And there's the yellow, because the pack had already crossed, the first 11 had already crossed the line. So we definitely get very spread out cars for this, and everybody is coming into the pit, so we'll take that opportunity as well to come in, take a look at everything. I guess we'll take some tape off the grill. Maybe that's what's causing some of the loose condition or the overbite into the corners. We'll find out. And now we are restarting 34th. For the third and final stage here at Charlotte. And that is a cluster and a half right there, but we actually got a better launch off the chicane. And that's not going to do us a whole lot of good because Jamie McFlurry was braking very early, or maybe I was braking very late. One of the two things was the case there, and I suspect it was the thing that was my fault. Regardless. Underneath DJ Kennington, or trying to get underneath DJ Kennington. And we get him. Oh, Kasey Kahne almost wrecked off of Bubba Wallace there. Get down into second gear, get underneath Mr. Dillon here. We're going to actually try to win this thing. Whoop, sorry, Kasey. Ah, no. Thank you. The other Chase. That's Chase Cobra. Okay, I don't want to be in first gear. First gear is not fun. And we're just going to cut the course there. Sure, why not? How many more laps do we have to go? Oh, God almighty. Ah! This is... God, come on, bring out a yellow. Thank you. I desperately needed that yellow. Okay, we're going to come into the pits. We're going to repair this thing. We're going to try to not do what we did this time. Again. So we got two chases. Chase Cobra, Chase Elliott. Going shotgun on the field here. So green is out. Here at Charlotte. going very slow through the chicane so we can get that run into turn 1. You know, maybe if I looked at the braking markers there, it would help me break into this corner a little bit better. 4 wide. 4 wide in the Charlotte road course. Why not? We can get it done. Dive it up the inside here of Michael Mcdowell. I'm figuring this out, slowly but surely. I'm figuring it out. And another 2 cars there. On the outside of De Benedetto. Around the outside of Dillon. Almost into the top 20 as David Reagan goes slow. You know Paul Menard's going to be slow here. Oh, they're going to completely block the track, so I can't get anywhere. 4 wide again. 4 wide. Up through the gears. Here we go. 4th. Now we got the chicane coming up. Oh, somebody's slow. Jones is slow. They're actually getting single file for the chicane, which is kind of interesting. That's an interesting AI trait right there. Jones actually, whoa, understeer. Jones actually slowed down for the chicane because he was going to go in there side by side, and he thought better of it, which is interesting. So Kurt Busch got around me, so I don't want to be racing for a position coming into this last lap, or into the last lap, because I am going to get past, I think, before that chicane. So we're going to work around the outside of David Reagan, which turns into the inside. Battling with Eric Jones here on the grass. Not what I want to be doing. To the inside. 2 inside. Boy, once the field spreads out, they go fast. Boy, we do get this run around the outside. Paul Menard into the inside. That's how a road course works. Let's try to get the run through the... Whoa, okay. Drifting. Hey, this is Flat Train here. I'm going to show you how to drift the Charlotte road course. Alright, so we are probably going to get passed by Paul Menard here through the chicane, or at least on the X of the chicane. Nope, did I actually get through it decent? I think I might have actually gotten through it decent. The only problem is we have got a ton of understeer in the corners. Or on the banking, I should say, which is kind of interesting. So through the chicane. 5 laps to go. Oh, so we got a nice little length race here. We got a little bit ways to go. Just gonna work underneath Numa here, or at least try to. We're actually going to start seeing some paint schemes that people are going to recognize after everybody clicked off the video because I crashed already. Down into 2nd gear. Pull away from that Camaro. And now we're chasing down Suarez. The outside of Suarez. Very slow. I guess I understand why they got rid of these hairpins. But again, I don't know. There comes a point when you take so many corners out of a roval that it no longer is a roval. It's an oval with like a right-handed turn or 2. So I don't know. Let me know how you feel about the modifications to the course. Oh, and I tried to block Suarez, and that did not work. That did not work out. So we just got to make sure Newman doesn't get underneath us here in the chicane. We're actually kind of figuring out the chicane. Now, that's a famous last word before I crash in the chicane. Nope, that was decent. God almighty, that thing is almost flat out. And we get the big understeer. Car in the pits. Oh, we're probably going to have to pit, aren't we? There's Jimmy the Juggernaut, as well as... no, we're not going to have to pit. So why are they coming into the pits? I will never know. But that was Jimmy and Logano coming into the pits, as we really use the curb there and actually get a nice run off of turn 1. I guess this is turn 2. Then we got turn 3 here. And then this coming up is turn 4. So we're going to learn the course here. So turn 4 is this one. And then we go down the back straightaway of the road course. Turn 5, which is a double apex that leads into turn 6, where we spin out Eric Almirola, and that's probably going to bring out a yellow. Turn 7, hopefully it won't. It's a one-car spin game, do not be stupid. Turn 8, the second hairpin. Again, these two corners are going to be gone, so it doesn't matter. So out of turn 8, very, very long corner. This one, turn 9, which will be turn 7, I assume, on the revised road course. And then I guess you could count this as a corner. So 1 and 2, Charlotte is turn 10. And then we've got turn 11, which is the chicane. Turn 12, oval 3 and 4. And Suarez is looking to the inside as we got more cars coming into the pits, including Suarez. And then turn 13, the chicane, leading on to the start-finish straight, which is very short. So there you go. There's your turn guide to the non-accurate version of Charlotte. Again, I don't blame 704 for this. I blame NASCAR for changing the track. But so if you're complaining, don't complain at 704. I do want to say that. Like, they added a track to the freaking game. This is an improvement. This is a good thing. I'm fine with this. The only thing I do wish we could run it online, though, because I'd be streaming this thing tonight, and we'd be doing Charlotte Roval races until 3 in the morning. But oh well. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you can't get what you need. So we're trying to get around Trevor Bayne, and we are failing epically. Around the outside. Again, we're slap training it around the outside. We're actually coming up behind the next Jeff Gordon. If we can get to, if we get past Bayne here, we can get up to the next Jeff Gordon. But I suspect everybody's going to pit, so it's potentially, we're going to get a victory here at the Charlotte Roval just based on the fact that I crashed so much. I got lucky with the pit strategy. We'll find out. This car's so loose through there. Now in here at 160 miles an hour. So yeah, you do have to lift in 3 and 4 on the oval despite the chicane. And there comes Blaney and Hamlin into the pits. I almost said Elliott. I'm Elliott. Bye, Trevor. Oh, he got loose. Thought he was going to lose it, but he didn't. So yes, we are coming up behind the next Jeff Gordon. Can we get that pass completed on him before we get back to the oval and I lose all semblance of pace? We'll find out. So we still got somebody absolutely running away from the field right now. Must be in a Toyota. He's cheating. So around the outside of William Byron. Let's see if Casey Atwood can prove himself. No, he can't. No, he can't. Sorry, next Jeff Gordon. But I was the next Jeff Gordon once. As we get down here into the final corner before the chicane, and that was a bad corner for me. It's going to allow William Byron back through for now. Can we get the draft going? We're drafting on the oval here at Charlotte. We're going to work into the chicane. This is going to possibly be not a good thing here. That was the best Scott Goodyear commentary I've ever given. Now we're going to fight with William Byron. Is he going to come into the pits? If he's coming, that's going to be a big problem because we're going to go side by side into the chicane. Oh! Oh, no! No! Oh, we got a yellow. Thank God almighty. Well, this... Oh, but the problem is there's going to be a lot of cars. Well, there's a lot of cars pitting. Well, thanks, William Byron. You did it. Alex Bowman is the guy that's leading this freaking race, which is kind of interesting. We're only going to go with half a can of fuel to repair the car, but we're going to be at the back anyway when we get to the restart. So 38th place. All that effort to get up to 5th, and we decided to go side by side into the freaking chicane with the next Jeff Gordon. That was a stupid decision. Well, here we go. And that was not a good restart. But I guess we're living up to Chase Elliott's name. Alright, to the outside. DJ Kennington. Woohoo! Sorry, DJ. It's time to go. I do have 4 fresh ones on this car. So we'll see if we can get anything done with 4 fresh Goodyears. This car along almost gets wrecked there. This is going to be touch and go this last little bit. Oh, sorry, Menard. Don't. Oh, that's probably going to bring out a freaking yellow, isn't it?
Stay right.
No. No. Okay. Oh.
Stay right there.
What the heck? Sorry, Bubba. Friggin'. Oh, almost spun it. My brain is short-circuiting because there's so much stuff happening. Well, Bowman got screwed. Bowman's back here in 20th. I'm going to try to go 3 wide between him and Kyle Larson. Not going to happen. At least as we work out onto the banking. We go 3 wide. I think Larson's going to... Yeah, Larson's backed out of it. We'll go around the outside of him. Screw it. You're going to wuss out Larson. We're going to go for it. Oh! The car was very much sideways through there, and it actually screwed me going into the the NASCAR 3 and 4.
All clear.
Okay, now for the chicane. Oh, crash! Ty Majeski and Chase Cobra, and, well, the overtime line still exists, so that's a thing. Well, that was the Charlotte Roval. That was pretty interesting. So that was the NASCAR Heat 2 2018 update. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Worth the $10, not worth the $10? That is going to be the debate for sure. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe for more motorsports content and NASCAR Heat content. We'll see you in the next video.